Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Speaking Out, exposing corruption and incompetence. I know the early boards are here. So welcome and good morning to one and all. Good morning to one and all. You know the drill. Know the drill. Share the live. Share the live. Let people know that we're here. I noted a regular Vibort was here since 9:37 this morning. Welcome, Vibort. Davina, all the way from Barbados. Welcome, Dudley from Jamaica. Welcome, George, Conchima, Denise, Danette. Welcome all. Welcome. Share the live. Share the live. Ulrich, regular. We are having some technical difficulties this morning. Mr. Conway is getting a difficulty in joining, but you know whether he is here or not, we're gonna have a program. We're gonna have the live because you need to get the information, and people are trying their level best to ensure that the information does not get out there. But we are going to do whatever we have to do to get the information out. So share the live. Sheila, welcome. Wayne, Lado, you're here. Orly, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Adrian. Welcome to one and all. Share the live. Share it. Share it. Let people know that we are here. At least I am here for now. You would have noted we had some technical issues. No introductory music this morning. And you will see that the background is even different. Welcome, Selwyn, Tessa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Doreen, Squaddy. Welcome, welcome, Roy. And all others. Welcome. Roy, you're early this morning. Bye. Roy, you're early. You're taking chances. You think that's this threat about a few days pay or CB with drill get you falling in early. Selwyn falling and covered down very, very early, man. The numbers are mounting. Share the live. Sandra, welcome, 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 welcome. Gavin, welcome. Gavin, old finance man, Gavin. Share the live. Let me know where you're from. Good morning, Gavin. Good morning. Let me know where you are joining us from. You know, we normally get people from Jamaica, in the house, Barbados, of course, Guyana, all over the United States, Europe, Canada, all the way, British, BV, the country people are here as well. So share and let them know that we're here. Canty, welcome, 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 Canty. Welcome. Erika, welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody from Georgia. Jacko from Georgia is here. And Marlon, the neighbor Marlon is here. Neighbor and countryman. Gavin from Baltimore is here. Desiree from California. Share the live, share the live. Don, welcome, Don, welcome, Don. I haven't seen you in a while. Mark, welcome, Mark, watching from Canada. People are asking, where is Mr. Conway? Mr. Conway has some technical issues this morning that he's trying to overcome. I am hopeful that within the next few minutes, he's going to be able to overcome the difficulties, but we're going to have a program. I see people from Queens, people from Georgia, Texas, City College, New York, Emerson. Kenrick, old athlete, man. Coach, how are you? How are you, Coach? I haven't seen you in a long time, Coach. Welcome, welcome. Eric, welcome. Brooklyn in the house, Eric says. Welcome, welcome. Share the live, share the live. Let people know that we're on. Nothing they can do will stop us from getting this program on and to be able to share the information with you. As I indicated, Mr. Conway, my co-host, is getting some challenges this morning, but I'm sure he's going to overcome. God is good. God has allowed us to see this day. He's going to allow us to overcome whatever challenges may come our way. Savannah, all the way from Barbados. We have someone here from New Jersey, John from New Jersey, Patricia from New Jersey as well. And share. Carl from Brooklyn is here. Eric, you'll see me a little. You say you miss me, but you're going to see me. Don't be afraid. I'm going to be there. I'm not lapsing, you know. I'm still doing the stuff, but you're going to see me in due time. You're going to see me in due time. Well, you know, Joan, welcome, Joan. Countryman, Muse, how are you? How are you, Muse? Somebody from Region 1 is here. Desiree, Everett. Share the live. The numbers are mounting, and I'm waiting to see if Mr. Conway is going to be able to overcome the challenges and if he's going to be here with us this morning. But be that whether he's here or not, we have lots of information to share. Either we share it together or I'm going to go ahead and give you the information. So let's have some patience. Allow others to join. Philip from Linden has just joined. John from Pleasance is here. Johnny Pleasance in the house. Pleasance BV in the house. Welcome all. Welcome. Petula, welcome. And we are going to get started in a short while. But share. I don't want to get like Sharon tell you, share it down live. I don't want to get that aggressive. But you know the drill. Ralph, welcome. Thank you for the morning greeting. Welcome all the way from Antigua and Barbuda. Rana from Connecticut is here. Share. And we are going to be ready to start in a short while. Somebody reaching out to Mr. Conway, but as I indicated, he's not here in the studios as yet. We were speaking on the phone a while ago, and he's having some problems in logging in. Yeah, etc. The zombie board, the troubling zombie board. I know while we ask for you to share and share the live, you got to give the zombie boards and the amphibians time to join us as well. Welcome, Mr. Young. Terrence, how are you? Welcome. Welfare. Kevin, welcome. So all of them, they're going to come, they're going to listen, and they have ulterior motive, but we're not going to be daunted by that. Somebody from Diamond is here in the house. Diamond in the house. Diana from Diamond in the house. Now let me jump into it this morning. You're sharing, and as the numbers mount, let me jump. Sagi, welcome. Sagi, welcome. Sagi is a regular in the house as well. Florida in the house, and we have lots of people all around the US, all around the world, joining to listen to what we have to say. You know, I've been getting many calls. People have been messaging me. People have been calling to say how they find the program so informative. As a matter of fact, they are urging, many of people are urging to us to have the program extended to beyond the 1 hour, and even have the program more than once a week. But you know what we do once we start, even though we say we are going to run for an hour, once we have information to pass on, we have been extending way beyond the hour. We will continue to do so. So share the live. We are not at capacity as yet, but keep sharing the live and let people know that we are up and we are ready to go. And while we do this, we are still hopeful that CC, Mr. Conway, my co-host, my co-accused, will be able to join, will be able to overcome the challenges and to join us this morning. As you know, this is the day the Lord has made. Let's be glad, let's rejoice and be glad in it. So, as we normally say, many persons were not that fortunate. Many persons are not that fortunate to be in the land of the living. So those of us who are in the land of the living need to rejoice and celebrate being in this wonderful land of the living. You know, we have to give praise and thanks to the Almighty. Praise and thanks always to the Almighty, because without the Almighty, we are nothing. Without the Almighty, we are nothing. So let's give praise, let's give thanks for being here. Having said that, we have the sad news of the passing. You know, we would always try to keep you up to date with what is going on. I learned yesterday that a retired sergeant, Gaskin, I think his number was 5830. Many of you younger people might not remember him. Perhaps people like Ulrich, Sagi, they might remember Mr. Gaskin. I think his number was 5830. He worked in the interior for a number of years. I remember meeting him, I think it was Monkey Mountain, where he was in charge. I went there as a young sergeant or inspector, I'm not sure. There was an incident there where the station was overrun, and I had to lead a team of TSU ranks into there to take back the station. Gaskin was there, so I understand that he passed in the US recently, either yesterday or the day before. He passed, so condolences to the relatives, friends of the retired Sergeant Gaskin. And then last week, when the program finished, I was told that a former corporal, Delmar Jack, passed away sometime last week in the US. For those of you who worked at Brigham, while I was a commander there, you may recall that Delmar worked in the registry. He was one of the persons in the registry there. He was the information technology man. The force that sent him sometime to India to study information technology, and he came back and he was working there. He has since passed. So condolences to those former and retired members of the force who passed, and I'm sure we'll all want to extend our deepest condolences to them, and our prayers are to be with the surviving relatives and family. Now, there's another passing that I would like to bring to your attention. Not a police, but a retired Lieutenant Colonel Art Liverpool, the Black Prince. The Black Prince, those of you, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. As I said, he was not a police as such, but he was a very well-known and popular member of the Guyana Defense Force, Colonel Hartley Liverpool. And he said he's a soldier's soldier, real well-respected soldier. And I did some quick reading this morning, and Sagi is saying that Mr. Gaskin number, I think, was 5813. Yeah, that is what I said, yes. 5830 was an inspector. Sagi, my condolences. You're saying that it was your relative. So condolences to you and other members of the family, both near and extended. Yeah, Colonel Liverpool he joined the British Guyana Volunteer Force in those days in 1955. Those of you who study the history of the GDF and the police will recall they had the British Guyana Volunteer Force. And when the GDF was formed, some of those forces went into the Guyana Defense Force, some went to the police. And Colonel Liverpool joined the army in 1965. And it is said that he's one of the most decorated soldiers in Guyana, one of the most decorated members of the Guyana Police Force. He's the first and only, listen to this carefully, he's the first and only soldier to be awarded the Medal of Valor. The Medal of Valor, he was awarded that. And he was awarded that because of his heroic action on the early morning of Tuesday, August the 19th, 1969, in the New River Triangle, during what the GDF called Operations Climax. Now, Operations Climax was launched by the GDF against Suriname's occupation. The Surinames encroached into Guyana's territory and occupied an area in the New River Triangle. And the GDF young army mounted this Operation Climax to throw out the Surinames from that area. And it is said that it is Colonel Liverpool's feat of firing a machine gun while sitting in the nose of a flying aircraft that was credited for the successful ousting of the Surinamese soldier. He sat in the nose of the aircraft with a machine gun and opened fire and drove them out of Guyana territory. He was always, remember, when you listen to the old soldiers talk about real soldier, his name is always there. And you know, after that ousting of the Surinames from the New River Triangle, they established what we refer to, what we became known as Camp Jaguar. The old policemen like Sagi who's here, or Rick, will perhaps remember Camp Jaguar. Camp Jaguar was a camp, soldiers and police in the New River Triangle. From the police perspective, ranks from the TSU rotated to that location, I think 2-3 months period, and they rotated into Camp Jaguar. I can't remember when Camp Jaguar ended, but I can tell you, people looked forward, men from the TSU looked forward to going to Camp Jaguar, because once you went there, you get your PD, your per diem, and it was camp conditions. If I recall correctly, camp conditions that time was $4 or something cents a day. But that was big money. So when you went there for a 3-month stint, you came back, and then when the PD was paid, you had big money. So people look forward to being selected to go to Camp Jaguar. I never went there. I was once selected during a time when there was no training going on. And then just before I was about to leave, or just before the group was about to leave, some special constables came into the training school, and I had to remain there to do training. I was really mad about that. I even asked to be relieved of my duties as an instructor until a certain officer came to me and he gave me a dressing down which brought water, brought tears to my eyes. But I never regret not going there. But all the squaddy, they go there when they come out back. Big celebration, big sport, because when they got their PD, they got a lot of money for going to as allowance for them for being in that area. And I recall they would tell you of stories of a lot of good fishing. So when they went in there, they would always walk with stuff, hook and bait to catch fish, because you didn't have to walk with fish or that type of fresh from Georgetown. So that was how somebody saying it was still $4 PD. There was camp conditions, because the regular PD was far less than that. But Camp Jaguar in the New River Triangle, that was camp condition. It was known as camp condition, and therefore you got a little extra. So I understand from the posting that Colonel Liverpool will be his funeral service is next Thursday in New York, Thursday the 8th of September, and he will be buried the following day in New York as well. Now, I just want to say this, and I hope that the government will follow the established protocol for national awardees. There is a protocol, and sometimes they tend to forget these things. But I know Francis, the protocol man there, should be able to advise on what is the correct protocol for a fallen hero, a man who was so well decorated, whether his funeral is going to be in Guyana, whether the funeral is going to be in New York, wherever it is, that protocol should be followed. The PD was $4.25. Lyndon is saying that the PD was $4.25, $4.25 a day. It was $4.25 a day. But when you were there for an extended period, I think it was 3 months, I can't be sure, it added up. So you came out and subsequently you got a good small piece. But just to show what it was then, Camp Jaguar in the New River Triangle. As I said, we should do some research to find out when that camp ceased to exist, or if it's still there, and if it's only GDF. But I know for the longest while, police rank, the TSU ranks, have not been sent there. Even back in the day, I think when I was there as the officer, I can't be sure. But it was indeed something to look forward to, because of the per diem that you will get. And Mr. Conway is not here as yet. I know that he's getting, as I indicate, people are asking for CC. Just to tell you, he has some challenges which he's trying to resolve to be able to join the program this morning. Whether it's the amphibians or whatever it is, people are interfering. They don't want the information to go out there. They don't want the information to get out. And we will do our best to get the information out despite all the challenges. Terence is saying it was 3 months and the money was sweet. I know that the money was sweet, even though I never got any, because my role as an instructor, you couldn't go out of the Georgetown for too long. So in those days, we had Camp Jaguar in the New River Triangle. We had Wakanam. People were sent to Wakanam for extended periods. Adventure and the Quarantine. Those are places where ranks of the TSU were deployed. I never got the opportunity to go there because I was a drill instructor, firearm instructor, and had to remain in town to train the new recruits. So that it was. Mr. Conway still have not been able to join, but we're going to be moving on. One of the things that we wanted to discuss with CC is, I looked at a newspaper and I saw a call by Minister Gail Teixeira for the police to investigate threats allegedly made by the leader of the opposition, Mr. Aubrey Norton, against chairperson of GCOM, retired Justice Khalid Singh. I wanted us to discuss the law enforcement aspect of that, and I'm going to attempt to do so with you to enlighten you. First of all, I was shocked because only recently the crime chief said that the police don't investigate threats. You recall that during that fiasco of a press conference that was called to deal with the Bascom matter, to debunk, according to the crime chief, to debunk Bascom's allegation, he said, in answer to a question from one of the journalists, because remember, Bascom said that he was called by one of the main suspects and he felt he was threatened because the man told him some things. And when he reported that to the head of the major crimes unit, he told him to make a report at Breakdown Police Station. He made that report. When that was put to the crime chief said, I don't investigate threat. So I was wondering if things have changed. How come now the Minister Teixeira is calling on the police to investigate threats allegedly made by the leader of the opposition? So apparently they start back investigating threats. I don't know. But then we have to, in terms of police, I mean, Ulrich and Sagi and these other police will, I'm sure you're going to be able to support me on this, that when threats are made, it's the person to whom the threats are made have to make that report, because statements, that is where we were taught. Statements are taken from them, and it's not only the words that were used, but they have to say quite clearly how they felt when those words were used towards them. Without the end going no place, I remember too training as a young prosecutor, and they used threats as one of the examples. So that when you put a man, let's say a man is charged for threatening behavior, threatening language, whatever it is, threatening language in particular, and the VC is there to give evidence, we have to make sure you brief him to say, well, look, you have to say that when the threats were made, how you felt. You felt afraid, you felt intimidated. Why is it? Because if you don't do that, you're going to get into trouble in proving the case. Because, and not so long ago, I was talking to an old prosecutor, Franklin Mingo. We were at a funeral, and the same thing came up about 3 months ago. And we were using the same example to say that the witnesses, VC, another witness, will come to the court superintendent office or to the prosecutor, and you will walk them through the statement they have to give. Because many times when the question is asked, you said this man threatened you. Now tell me something. How did you feel when those words were used? And then the man will say, no, I didn't frighten you. I wasn't afraid. He can't beat me. So when he said anything, it's troubling you into the right away. Because if the words are used and the person to whom they were used is not afraid and didn't feel any fear or anything, you can't prove the case. You cannot prove the case. So I want to know, one, if the police are going to be investigating this matter. And if they are, whether the person to whom the threats were made, and in the article they pointed out that the person is a retired judge and all that, fine. So the retired judge ought to know the elements. I suspect now that we're talking about it, they're going to run to make sure that they stop the gap, Andrew, you're right. Fear is the key to threatening language or behavior. Andrew, you are perfectly correct. Andrew is saying here that fear is the key. So if somebody tell you, look, I got beat you up and you didn't feel fearful, you didn't feel threatened and so on, it doesn't amount to any offense. Doesn't amount to an offense. So let us see where this will go, if they will suddenly start to investigate threats, because again, according to the crime chief, he said very flippantly that the police, they don't investigate threats. I suspect he meant the CID, but he didn't say that. He said we don't investigate threats. He said we don't investigate threats. Yes, Sia, we give them ideas all along, every time. This program is to teach, this program is to train, and it's targeted towards the younger policemen, because you see things like this, many of them don't know, so they can't pass it on to the younger policemen. So I'm saying to the younger policemen again, once a report is made to the station about threatening behavior, a person makes a report about the threatening behavior, threatening language, you have to take a detailed statement, and in that statement, the person must be made to say how they felt at the time when the threats were made. Must be made to say that. The man called, he told me, he beat me up, I became afraid, and what did you do? Very important. What did you do? Why the man say, well, he tell me, sir, he can beat me up. Why am I frightened? Because he can't beat me. since we go into school, I know he can't beat me. Problem in establishing the case. There's a problem right there and then in establishing the case. So let's see where this one will go. It was all politicking, It's all about the politics. They make these statements and they're going to report it to these people and they're going to report it here to the foreigners and all of that. At the end of the day, it's just enough gas. Because unless and until the person to whom the alleged threats were directed, unless that person is able to tell you how they feel, you have nothing to go on. You have nothing to go on. And the police, I will hope that, well, as a retired judge, they might not go and take a statement for more. They might ask her to submit a statement. And I suspect that as a retired judge, she'll give a statement. And this is where integrity and credibility comes in. I hope it's not a case where after that you're now fearful about at the time you didn't have any fear or any adverse reaction to the words used. So that is something that we will continue to look at. That is what we will continue to see where that will go. Let's see where that will go. Now, the next issue that I want to deal with here, and we're still waiting, I'm still hoping that Mr. Conway is able to join. I'm still hoping that Mr. Conway is able to join. He has not been able to do so as yet. Technical issues. So let's see if he gets. But I will continue. As we said in the announcement for the program, I will now only post on social media that we are going to have the program remind you that it is on. And I like one or two areas that we are going to be going into. Now, one of the things I highlighted is the ongoing Bascom matter. The ongoing Bascom. And again, I am conscious of the fact that people join all the time. We have new viewers all the time. And as a trainer, I cannot assume that all of you are aware of what is going on. So permit me to just walk you through quickly what transpired. Deon Bascom is a sergeant. He was attached to the major crime unit at CID headquarters. He claims that during the course of the investigation into the Ricardo Fugandez, also known as People Shards murder, they got to a stage where they used electronic devices, or an electronic device, and were able to tie down some suspects in the matter. And then he claimed that the matter is being covered up. He alleges that the head of the major crime unit was paid $30 million to cover up the matter. That is the allegation that Bascom made publicly on social media. He made that. Immediately following that, the persons to whom these allegations were leveled, the head of the major crime unit, Superintendent Caesar Mark Richmond, a driver for the Mohammed, and Azruddin Mohammed, whose name was called, through the lawyers, wrote to Mr. Bascom threatening legal action if he did not withdraw those allegations. Well, very shortly thereafter, Bascom made another post and said that he was standing by the allegation, claimed that he had evidence, he was standing by the allegation. Now, one of the things he said during this telephone live, the Facebook live, is that one of the suspects in the matter, Rondell Bacchus, called him, and after wanted bulletin had been issued for Bacchus called Bascom to take him in to CID headquarters. He went to Bacchus, he took him to CID headquarters, and then he was later interviewed. Now the crime chief and the man who sits in the commissioner chair called a press conference shortly after to debunk, that is the word they used, to debunk Bascom's allegation. And in an effort to discredit Bascom, the crime chief said that when Bascom claimed that he is the one who took Bacchus into CID headquarters, that is a lie. He said Bascom never took him into CID headquarters. His lawyer took him in to CID headquarters. He was doing a PowerPoint. He said that the station diary at CID headquarters will support that is the lawyer took him in. He also showed a clipping from the Kaicho News newspaper in support of his contention that Bascom is lying when he said. And basically he was saying because he lied, he was saying that he lied on that occasion. He had evidence to prove that he lied. So you couldn't believe anything else that he said. That is what was implied. Now, shortly thereafter, Travis Chase from the TV broadcaster interviewed Rondell Bacchus. And Rondell Bacchus confirmed that it was Bascom who took him to CID headquarters. He said that once he learned that a wanted bulletin had been issued for him, he got on his phone, he called his lawyer, and he told his lawyer that this wanted bulletin has been issued for him and that he was going to go to CID headquarters with or without the lawyer. That is what he said. He said immediately thereafter, he called Bascom, whom he knew, and Bascom went to his Bacchus house, picked him up, and took him to CID headquarters. That is what Bacchus said. The lawyer also confirmed that when he arrived, he did not take in Bacchus. When he arrived at CID headquarters, Bacchus was already there. In other words, more or less supporting the stories told by Bascom. So that is to give you a back. Well, I should have told you too that the lawyers, one lawyer wrote to on behalf of Mr. Mohammed, on behalf of Mark Richmond, and on behalf of Mitchell Caesar, superintendent, for him to withdraw and threatened legal action. Millions of dollars, multi-million-dollar lawsuit was threatened against Bascom. As I said, Bascom he retained the prominent law firm, Hughes and Stobie, and they in a press brief also said that they are not going to retract and they are going to vigorously defend Bascom. So that's just a way as background for those people who may not be up to date, up to speed with what is going on. Now, let me analyze what has happened. Now, I am of the view that all of these things that have been happening are done to intimidate and to silence Bascom. They don't want him to talk. So when you have a sergeant making these allegations and you're threatening multi-million-dollar lawsuit, it is clearly, in my view, an attempt to intimidate, to get him scared so that he will not continue. But credit to Bascom. Bascom has maintained that what he's saying is the truth and he is not going to withdraw. I noted the latest in that is that yesterday, I understand from the news that he was slapped with a lawsuit by Mr. Mohammed for 200 million Guyana dollars. Now here it is again, you have a sergeant who perhaps can find difficulty to get $2 million. He's slapped with a lawsuit for 200 million. I believe all these are designed to intimidate. That is my view. It is designed to intimidate, and let's see where the lawsuits will go. Let's see where. That is only one, but remember 2 others were threatened. I don't know if they are going to follow through on those 2 others. Now continue to share the live, continue to share. We are at capacity, but we have standing room. Continue to share the live. Now, the other thing is that if you follow the story closely, Mr. Nigel Hughes, the lawyer representing Mr. Bacchus, Sergeant Bascom rather, the lawyer representing Sergeant Bascom, claimed, or he said that he wrote to the president of Guyana for Bascom, who is deemed, according to the law, as a whistleblower, and there is a law to deal with whistleblower, and the president should. He was requesting that protection, security be provided for Bascom, because having made those allegations, the revelations might lead to people wanting to do doing harm. So he wrote that to the president. He said, and I think based on the news, at the time the president was leaving the country to go to Trinidad, and the president indicated that he had not seen the letter. I think there was some confusion as to whether the letter reached to the office or whether he actually saw. I think there was some clarification to say that the letter was received by the office of the president, but the president had not seen it, and he had promised to look into the matter on his return from Suriname. Now, this is over 2 weeks. The president went on duty to Suriname. He has returned, and as of yesterday, the lawyer is claiming that he has not had any response from the office of the president in relation to providing the security for Bascom. And again, according to the news yesterday, he has written again to the president, pointing out that Bascom should be provided with the necessary protection so that you can hear what he has to say and get to the bottom of this matter. Now, I find it remarkable. I haven't noted this. I find it remarkable that more than 2 weeks after Bascom's lawyer wrote to the president about the need to protect Bascom, there has been no response. That is according to the lawyer. No, that's a remarkable development. No response. No response. I understand that to mean not even the official acknowledgement of the letter and to say what perhaps they plan to do, if anything, right? Who investigating or whatever. Nothing. Now, I am saying that the concerted effort to paint Bascom as a rogue cop, as I said before, there has been this concerted effort. There can be no doubt about that, because after the press conference, this fiasco they had for press conference, after Bascom maintained a story, after Bacchus confirmed that Bascom was the one who took him in, the very day, the Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, the police published a photograph on social media to show Bacchus with his lawyer and 2 ranks in civilian clothes who are assumed to be policemen, look like they're taking a statement from him. And they wanted to say that was evidence that the lawyer took him in to CID. I mean, that was laughable. How can that prove? How can people who are supposed to be investigators believe that they can hoodwink the public into believing that that was enough to show that Bascom was lying? But they tried to pay it, because the same Bacchus went back. He gave, after speaking to Travis Chase, shortly after he revealed something on social media saying Bacchus is a crook, Bacchus is not a good police, worse to be fair. And then later, some other time, he had an interview with another media outlet where again, Bacchus, well, let me say this, as I said last week, let me say again, and I'm going into the countryman, old people saying, and old people say, if Uri come from River Bottom and tell you say Patwa get fever, you got to believe Uri. And again, as I explained, Uri is a fish, but Uri and Patwa, they are fish. And if one come from the bottom of the river where they dwell to tell you that the other one is unwell, he has a fever, you got to believe it, because they're dwelling there. They are dwelling together. You are not dwelling there. You can't get a parrot to go to the bottom of the river to come and tell you. Parrot can't survive at the bottom of the river. I say that to say that if Bascom comes to tell us something is going on, you have to believe what Bascom is saying. You can't get no priest or some preacher to come to tell you about the corruption that is going on. My take is that the more you try to paint Bascom as this corrupt cop, I think is the more credibility you give him to his story. Because if he corrupt, he been there and he know what's going on. That is my take. He went there. He been excuse me, he been there and he know what's going on. So if he come and tell you say Patrick get fever, you got to believe what he is saying. You can't wait for some church boy. You got the church boy in the thing, you know what is going on. It's a man who in the thing got to come and tell you, Mr. Conway spoke to you last week. He tell you about the Sorpico syndrome. It's somebody from inside the blue wall. So when the blue wall is broken and someone comes out to tell you what is going on, you have to believe. And I say again, the more they bring stories to try to discredit Bascom, to paint him as a rogue cop, my view is that is the more credibility that you're giving to the story. The more credibility. And there people jump up and they're saying, well, Bascom only doing this because Kanu had a raid. Again, if you remember, Kanu had a raid. Kanu, for those of you not fully familiar with the acronym, the Guyana Custom Anti-Narcotics Unit had a raid somewhere, sometime last month, I think, or early this month rather. And the Bascom, this police sergeant, was in the house that the drug was found. He was arrested along with the others, and of note, he has not been charged. However, his photograph was plastered all over the media as a person arrested in a drug bust. Now, Bascom is saying, Bascom, remember again, let me say, you understand, Bascom is a road police. Bascom is out there. He says that he used to be in the narcotics branch and he's a road police. He knows what's going on the road. He is saying that he learned that the reason why his photograph was put there is so that people can associate him with drugs. Because he said, and he said, it's not me, Bascom, look at the tape. He's saying because people tell him that when they rub him out or when he was killed, then the narrative will be that he there in bad business with drug people, and that is why he was. That is what Bascom is claiming. That is what Bascom is saying. Bascom is further saying that in terms of Rondell Bacchus, he's saying that he understands the plan was to issue the wanted bulletin for Bacchus, and then he was to be killed in a shootout with the police. That is what the man is saying. And I say that having regards to these allegations, this thing requires a deep investigation, which I'll deal with it. I'll deal with this investigating part a little while. In a little while, I'll deal with that. But that is what this man who come from Trench Bottom, this Uri that come from Trench Bottom, he telling you what's going on at the bottom there, and you're trying to discredit. Nobody is interested in investigating this matter. And I say that because from all the actions that have been taken, it gives the impression that no one is too keen on getting to the bottom of this matter. The question is why? Why don't one want to get to the bottom of this? Now, the next thing, again, if you recall, during the course of this fiasco of a press conference, the man who sits in the chair of the commissioner said that they had referred the matter, some matter, he didn't say what matter, to the Office of Professional Responsibility of the Guyana Police Force to investigate. That is what he said. At the time he said he had received the report from the OPR. That report was sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions to be advised on the way forward. And the question was asked then, what was the OPR investigating? What were they investigating? Were they investigating the allegations made by Bascom? Or were they investigating what they call the tirade, the social media tirade by Bascom? So they didn't say, they weren't explicit, they weren't clear as to what they were investigating. Now we learned during the latter part, middle to the latter part of last week, that the DPP has advised criminal charges against Bascom. That is what was carried. I don't know how authentic that is, but it was said that the DPP has advised, a figure was called 7 criminal charges against Bascom. Now we are yet to see what those charges are. And I must tell you that I'm surprised that around Wednesday, Thursday of last week, We understand that this advice was given for him to be charged. And today, Wednesday, almost a week after no charge has been filed, it tells me a story. It tells me a nice story. I don't know if you are hearing the same story, but it tells me a story. But let's wait to see what will happen. What are the charges that are going to be filed against Sergeant Dion Bascom? I await anxiously to see what those charges are, if any at all. But let me tell you this, how this place does work. If we don't charge him, if he's not charged, at some stage we can see what the recommendations were. And at some stage we will get to learn why they did not, if they don't go ahead, why they did not go there. At some stage, that is going to be revealed. This is, we talk about Guyana. Night for long. So I am saying we wait to see what those charges are against Sergeant Bascom. I don't know if he's still working. I understand that the lawyer had said that he resumed duty where he was stationed on the Essequibo coast. I don't know what is his present status. I can't say what is his present status, except to say, based on the news, it would appear that yesterday he was in Georgetown at his residence when the court martial and went there to serve this statement of claim or this civil lawsuit on him. And there were some concerns because they're saying the court martial went there in a vehicle owned by Mohammed, and someone was videoing Bascom's residence. All of these things, if they are true, if those things are true, are intimidatory tactics. All of those things are intimidatory tactics. And I get the feeling, based on all the statements made by Bascom, that he's a diehard. He ain't no back down. As I said, he come from church bottom. He is not going to back down. And we want to know the truth. We want to know the truth. And let me say this. The businessman, Mr. Mohammed, is within his right to take whatever action he deems necessary to clear his name. But I don't believe a civil lawsuit is going to have that effect. I don't believe a civil lawsuit will have the effect of clearing Mr. Mohammed's name from these dangerous and damning allegations. The only way, in my view, this can be cleared is by having a proper investigation into the murder of Ricardo Fagundes, paper sharks, and into the allegations made by Bascom. The allegations. And let me tell you again, they are allegations. They are allegations. And as a former talk show man would say, let me see who is the alligator. There's an allegation. The allegation must be properly investigated, because even if you succeed in a civil lawsuit, that cloud is still hanging over your head as to whether you just use intimidatory tactics to get this thing, to get Bascom to back off. So the best way to clear your name, to bring some clarity to this issue, is by having a proper, independent investigation. Independent, credible investigation. Which brings me to the point about the investigation. The Minister of Home Affairs and the President made statement. President did say they're going to ask the RSS, that is the Regional Security System, to look in. The Minister, they're going to ask them to review. The Minister said they're going to ask the RSS to review this matter. Well, that shows some new light. They're investigating the review. Because in my understanding, my training, you're going to review. You're going to look to see what was done. And then maybe you will make comment as to whether you believe it was properly done and maybe the way forward. That is what a review is. So based on the statement made by the Minister of Home Affairs, RSS is not there to investigate. They are there to review. I'm going by what he has said, that's the Minister. But let me say this. I addressed it last week. RSS has no capacity to deal with a matter like this. RSS, the Regional Security System, was formed sometime in the early 80s, I think it was, by some of the Eastern Caribbean countries to respond to emergencies. And the emergencies that they were to respond to were natural disasters, things like hurricane, landslide, floods, and the like. And check, it's there on their website. They went to some country, I think it was St. Kitts, St. Lucia, when they built a new prison. They had an operation there to move prisoners from one prison to the other prison. That is the type of operation. RSS does not have an investigative arm. They have no track record, none whatsoever, of conducting any high-profile murder investigation or any investigation into allegations of the nature that Bascom has made. So let me understand this RSS thing. And I believe, as I've said before, the only way you can have a real credible investigation is by having reputable institutions conduct this investigation. And I refer you to like the FBI, the Scotland Yard out of the UK, perhaps the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Those are people with track record. Those are people who have the resources, they have the capability, they have the wherewithal, they have the experience, they have all that it takes to get to the bottom of a matter like this. All, notwithstanding the time that has elapsed. Because remember, Paper Shots was shot, I think, and killed on the 21st of March, I think, last year. He was shot and killed then. And notwithstanding the time that has elapsed, those people are fantastic. They will come and they will do things. Many of the things are routine stuff. But because it is a view that the local people have no interest in getting to the bottom, they're not going to do the routine stuff. Routine stuff, telephone records, CCTV cameras. I mean, the footage for those things might not be still in existence because I know most of those things might have been overwritten over the time. But there is so much for them to be able to go on. So much for them to be able to go on if the competent and reputable people are called. But I get the feeling from all that has transpired, there is no interest in getting to the bottom of what is going on. And if that is so, then the question is why? Why people don't want to get to the bottom of the murder and the allegations that have been made by Bascom. Now, I am saying that it is becoming clearer with each passing day that the authorities have no interest in getting to the bottom of the murder and the explosive allegations made by Bascom. And again, the question is why they don't want to get to the bottom of this. Is it that if you call an investigation for the Bascom matter, you call for credible people, they're going to tell you, say, well, let me get a credible one with Sue too? Sue, remember who Sue made allegations against, the Vice News explosive interview incriminating the Vice President. And since then, they say, yeah, we're going to have, they are in favor of having an investigation. I wonder what has happened to that. And I lament every week about this limited shelf life that we have. We as Guyanese, we have a limited shelf life. Something comes up and it makes news for a day or two, and then it is swept down the stream. You don't hear about it anymore. Limited shelf life. So even a matter like the Sugate, the allegations from the Vice News against the Vice President of the country, you ain't hearing anything more about it. Initially, they talk about investigations, but you are not hearing anything further about it. So I'm wondering if they feel that if you're calling credible people to investigate this allegation by Bascom, or some say there, you might be opening a Pandora's box, or you're opening a closet with all the skeletons. Maybe not only a closet, maybe it's a whole graveyard of skeletons will emerge. They don't want that. They do not want that. But it's for us, as law-abiding Guyanese, to insist, to call out, and to demand that there be a credible investigation. Now, this thing with RSS come, I understand he might be in the country at this time doing what? What they're going to do? They're reviewing. They're reviewing. So if they're reviewing, they're going to go through perhaps statements that are there and tell you some nonsense at the end of the day. No credibility, none whatsoever. And I will repeat my call for this matter to be investigated by credible organizations, credible people who are not tainted. Because already hearing that the people from RSS, I don't know how true it is, I don't know who the people are, but people whispering that, oh, they have cozy relationships with some of the people in the hierarchy of the Ghana police force. The same people who they have to review, and the same people against whom allegations are made. So where are we going? Are we saying that we're going to try the devil's case in hell? That is what the impression that we are given. So let's understand that there's a need for this to be done. And I said last week, and I'm repeating my call again, we need to a two-pronged attack, an investigation into the murder by credible, reputable people. I said FBI, Scotland Yard, RCMP, to come and to investigate the murder. And the allegation that we're talking about, I believe there should be a commission of inquiry into the allegations. And I explained last week, and I'm explaining again, that the reason I'm advocating for a commission of inquiry, so that with the proper terms of reference, the commission of inquiry gets the proper terms of reference, they'll be able to perhaps get witnesses, people from the public who know something. And a lot of people know what's going on, you know. They might feel encouraged and emboldened to come and talk the story. They will also be able, all the parties who are going to give evidence must give evidence on the oath or affirmation. They either swear or they affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So that when they go there and they tell lie, you find them lying, you can charge them and jail them for perjury. Because anything other than that, RSS come and take statement from people and so on. Remember, I said some of these people are pathologically mendacious. And to break it down, they just lie bad. They just lie like when R Stratton. And therefore, when you go tell a man, or give me a statement as to what transpires, you can make a nice Jim Cockburn Ramgoat story. You want them to tell that same story on the oath. So that when you find them lying, they can be charged criminally for perjury. And also, the Commission of Inquiry will have the powers to subpoena records, to subpoena documents and records. Demand, for example, a telephone company to produce records over a particular period of time. Demand, legal, have the authority to legally demand books and other records be produced. That is what you want. That is the only way you can get to the bottom of this. Because if you come to do a wishy-washy investigation, regular routine investigation, people are going to lie. They have done so before and they will do it again. People are going to lie. And if they are going to lie, you want them to lie on the oath so that the appropriate action can be taken against them. Now, as I've said before, you know, somebody asked him, Mr. Conway, I indicated he has, obviously at this stage, he's not going to be able to join. He has some serious technical issues. I believe the gremlins, the amphibians, the jagabots and all those names that they are called by, I believe they are at work. And they have been able to get him not to come on this morning. But you by the idea, call to Sharon, I ain't going no place. I cannot be intimidated. I cannot be silenced. I'm going to speak the truth. Speak the truth and speak it ever, cause it what is will. Remember, I gave that quotation. I am going to continue to speak the truth. I'm not going to send one bats and one amphibians here to distract. I am not going to be distracted. And I guess this morning's show telling you, if I got to go it alone, I will go it alone. I started it alone, and then Mr. Conway joined. They somehow they knock you out this morning. I dare, I ain't going no place. I am not going no place. And you would know, those of you who are observant, that even with background different this morning, you would know that even that is to tell you that wherever I am, the show will be. Wherever I am, the show will go on. The show is going to go on. And I'm glad that people are here in your hundreds to see and to listen to what is going on. I ain't going no place. I am not going no place. I mean, the intimidation, the same intimidation they tried with me. I have two lawsuits, civil lawsuits before the court. They're suing me for, I think, $140 million. They're suing me for, two senior police officers. So if I ain't going nowhere, and I'm waiting for the time come for the matters to be ventilated. I'm waiting because, like Sergeant Bascom said, I get me thing them to prove that whatever I'm saying, it is the truth. So if I say that you're dishonest, is the truth. If I say that you're corrupt, I can bring evidence to prove that it is the truth. I'm waiting. And I always remember some years ago, there was a lawsuit. I think it was Freddie Kissoon and Mr. Jagdeo, where I think that they sued Freddie. And when the trial time come, I remember to run for cover because everything that was claimed by Freddie was able to do the research and bring in evidence. I have done my research. I get me evidence to prove what's saying or what I've said is the truth. So let's wait and see. Let's wait. They're going to come. They're going to try to distract. Now, let me say this. I made the point earlier this morning. No, before I go there, let me go back to this Bascom thing briefly. We talk about the crime chief out in his source because it's the crime chief on in that press conference, and I'm reluctant to call it a press conference, said that Roger Khan or his lawyer called and told them that Rondell Bacchus was the gunman. This is what the crime chief said publicly. Go back and look. He said that. He also said at the same time that they said that Mark Richmond was a getaway driver. Right? The issue wanted bulletin for Rondell Bacchus. They made one attempt, I understand, to arrest Mark Richmond and nothing else. No wanted bulletin for Mark Richmond. No other arrest. Bascom is alleging that sometime subsequent to that, the incident subsequent to when he was threatened by Richmond went to CID headquarters to deliver car keys to the head of the major crime unit, Caesar. That is what Bascom is claiming. Is saying. Something caused me to laugh when I look at the Rondell Bacchus interview with Travis Chase. He said, and again, these things are there for you to go and look at, Remember this murder occurred on the 21st of March, 2021. And the wanted bulletin was issued for Bacchus somewhere around the 6th of April, almost 2 weeks after. And he said that Bascom took him in. And he admitted that they swabbed him for gunpowder residue. Now I had to laugh. I don't know how well aware some of you are. But 2 weeks after this shooting, you swabbing a man for gunpowder residue? It's going to be a big joke. 2 weeks after, assuming that the man had on the same clothes, he hadn't changed his clothes at all in 2 weeks. Assuming that he did not have a shower in 2 weeks. The fact that 2 weeks would have passed would have degraded, almost eliminate evidence of gunpowder residue on the man's clothing and the man's skin. 2 weeks after. So them is the crime sleuths that you have. Or as my friend Clem would say, he said this, that some years ago, there was a murder in Essequibo. And the newscaster was reading. You know, in them days, when they get to the high-profile murder, they send police from headquarters. And the crime sleuths from headquarters were sent. And the man called the word sluts. He said they send these crime sluts. The crime sluts from headquarters. So maybe they have some new crime sluts who are going to be able to find that type of evidence 2 weeks after the thing. 2 weeks. So let's understand where it's going. They really, yes, George, the tech people were fool. But tell them we big, but we ain't stupid. We big, but we are not stupid. And we can see things for what they are. We see where these things are coming from. And I have said repeatedly that they have no interest in getting to the bottom of this old paper shark murder and the allegations that are made by Sergeant Bascom. No interest in getting to the bottom of those matters. And again, I ask the question, why is it that they don't want these matters to be properly investigated and to be revealed and have a revelation? Let it be revealed what transpired. Now, you know, again, I say that these things have to be kept, and I will do my best to keep it in the public domain. I will do my best. So matters relating to the Police Service Commission, of which I was the chairman, I updated you last week. Matters that are of interest, and these matters are of interest. They don't want these matters ventilated, and they're fighting tooth and nail. You know, they're right. According to these people, they are correct in the action they took. And yet still, they are doing everything to ensure that these matters are not ventilated in court. And I am saying that if you are so sure that your actions were correct, let the court review. You know, you're talking about RSS come for review. Let the court review what transpired and pronounce on the lawfulness of your action. But they don't want that. They don't want that. But they're going to tell you that they acted correctly. They're going to tell you that they acted correctly. But yet still, when you challenge the action, they're fighting to make sure that the action is not over. In the Police Service Commission matter, the president suspended the Police Service Commission on the 16th of June 2021. And we challenged it because we said it was unlawful. It did not follow the provisions of the Constitution, specifically Article 225 of the Constitution. The Attorney General jumped on the TV and he said, oh, correct action taken and da. You don't want, let them go to court. Only a competent court can say otherwise. Well, we went to court. And since going to court, that is since late June 2021, over a year now, they're fighting to make sure the matter is not over. Justice Gina Prasad ruled that the matter must move forward. The Attorney General challenged that to the full court. The full court pronounced and agreed with Justice Gina Prasad that the matter must move forward. The Attorney General then sought leave of the full court to challenge or to put the matter before the appeal court. Full court said, no. This ain't going no way further. You're only wasting time. Let the substantive matter be heard. Now they're trying again to get the matter thrown out. When the matter came up last week, Tuesday, all the parties, there's not them alone, all the parties agreed in regards to the Chief Justice ruling about the Police Service Commission had been properly constituted. They said they wanted to get the written ruling from the Chief Justice. Well, I have news for you folks. The written ruling has been rendered either yesterday or the day before yesterday. The written ruling is now in the possession of the lawyers, and the matter is set for next month. So let me hear, I think it's the 20th of September. Let me hear what else they're going to come with on the 20th of September. But they will continue because they know they don't have a leg to stand on. They know they don't have a leg, so they're using all sort of trickery and all sort of legal gymnastics, not trickery, legal gymnastics to make sure that the matter is not ventilated. But we are going to be there, as I said last week. I'm telling you again, this is no done as you like. The police service commission say they want to discontinue, they want it done. I say I ain't done him. No done as you like. So let's understand this clearly. Now I also telling you about these matters with limited shelf life. Limited shelf life. The matter comes up, and for a day or two, a week, perhaps even a month, it is there in the public domain. And then it fizzles out. It fizzles out. For example, the Bacchus murder on the East Coast at Golden Grove. That don't start to fizzle. One man charged for the murder, 2 men charged for perverting the course of justice or something of the nature. One of the men charged, imagine this, one of the men charged, Damian McLennan, was never at the scene. That is what the police complaints authority said. There was no evidence that he was ever at the scene, but he's charged with perverting the course of justice because they claim that he told some falsehood. Yet still, in the same report, they identified several other ranks who told falsehood by saying that the deceased Bacchus shot at the police when the evidence showed that was impossible. The gun that they claimed that he had wasn't working, so he could not have shot at the police, and therefore they all lied. So one man lied for one aspect, charged. The others are not charged. And as I said, limited shelf life, they start to fade already. Then you had a case not so long ago, right? If you remember that a young man, Jaheim Peters, alleged that he was tortured at Vigilance Police Station. Police said that some other prisoner gave him a lighter and he used the lighter to set himself on fire. That already gone on the back burner. At the time, they said that the OPR will be conducting an investigation. Later on, I think we learned that this other prisoner was charged for some offense, but you're hearing nothing more about the other matters. The policemen were to be charged departmentally. Back burner, you ain't hearing anything about that. OPR investigate, and I think some charges were recommended. File went to DBP, charges recommended. I wonder what happened to that. Can the corporate communication unit inform the public what has happened to that matter? It's of public interest, and you should let people know what has happened to that. Then we had the next matter in June, early June, where a 12-year-old schoolgirl, West Demerara, walking going home from school, a vehicle stopped to allow her to cross on the pedestrian crossing. The police vehicle undertook, in other words, the driver on the inside, struck her and killed her. At the time, here, okay, we're going to investigate, we're going to have an unbiased investigation. That too, you hear anything else about it? I have not heard anything about it. Maybe it's somewhere there in the news about what, but it looked like that too. Back burner. Then we had a matter, if you remember, since last year, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of American Affairs, Ms. Sharon Hicks, allegedly caught in a sting operation that was around October last year. If you remember, it was said that some businessman who had the contract to provide security services in some one of the areas went and he made a report to the police that the permanent secretary was demanding $200,000 from him to sign something and to ensure that he gets the contract. The police set a trap, marked the money, moved in. She was arrested. I wonder what happened to the matter. I wonder, just wondering, one of them things, wonder what happened to that matter. Then we had, if you recall, in April of this year, an outgoing passenger at Timeri airport was caught with cocaine strapped to her body. And they say following the investigation, former Kanu employee and some female from the Guyana Revenue Authority were also arrested. I think they were all charged in that matter. The person who was found with the cocaine pleaded guilty to the charge, and she was put on bail. When she pleaded guilty, she was put on bail. When she returned, She had a change of mind. She pleaded not guilty. And I think something about psychiatric evaluation and all of those things came into play. That was since April. I wonder what happened to the matter too. I wonder what happened to that matter. And those are just a few that I'm highlighting to make the point about the limited shelf life of many of these matters. So maybe things are happening. Maybe the process is moving forward. But I'm saying they're no longer in the public view. They know, and that is the way things just slip out and disappear. Things just slip out and disappear. That is the way these things work. That is the way these things work. So, and then somebody saying, where is Sue? Now, Sue is another issue altogether. And this is not SUE, because the SUE is there. Yesterday, Mr. Mohammed SUE Bascom for $200 million. I read in the paper not so long ago that Mr. Vincent Alexander, through his lawyer, Mr. Anderson, wrote to the vice president and threatened to SUE him. So we hear about that SUE, but the SU, the Chinese SU, we ain't hearing about that. We ain't hearing about that. And I wonder what happened to the lawsuit that the vice president filed against, because as I know it, once they call it, I think the legal they call it statement of claim is signed off in the court, you have to serve it on the person, the respondent, within a certain time. That is written on the document. It must be served by this time. If it's not served by that time, you have to go back and get a new date for service. So I really wonder what happened to that original matter, whether it was served within the prescribed time that the court would have assigned. I wonder what happened to all of these matters. A lot of wondering today. And it's WONDRING, wondering, not WANDR. I am wandering all over the place. Now, let me close by telling you, again, it's unfortunate that Mr. Conway is not here with us this morning. My colleague, my co-accused, is not here. But you know, I made some notes, so let me make sure I ain't missed nothing as I attempt to close. I don't want to deprive you of anything. I don't want to deprive you of anything. I would normally make some jottings. Oh, I made a very interesting jotting. It's interesting to me that I said that this whole thing about the RSS is an attempt to appease on the synonyms, to placate, to pacify, or worse, to hoodwink members of the public. And hoodwink here means to deceive, to trick, to dupe, or to fool. I made note of these words. I made note. So I'm saying again that this RSS thing is an attempt to placate, to appease people, to appease, to placate, to pacify, or perhaps worse, to hoodwink. And when you come to hoodwink, you're talking here about deceiving, you're talking about tricking, you're talking about duping and fooling people. But as I said, we big, but we ain't stupid. We can see through what is going on. We're seeing through what is going on. Folks, unfortunately, again, my colleague wasn't able to join me this morning. I hope the one-man show, somebody said, Court, the one-man show, I've done a fabulous job on the one-man show. Thank you, Court. We got to catch up sometime and knock some domino. I hope you learned the game right now. You and Ulrich. Ulrich, I want to say something, man. You remember the domino thing we had at the police officers mess? When I introduced it to such a group and you talk about 4 straight love, you will never live that down, Ulrich. Ulrich, you will never able to live that down. Court, thanks for your comment that as a one-man show, one-man band, I was able to do a fabulous job. So that's how I said, oh, that's how they're taking note. And you know, we big, but we ain't stupid. We see what's going on. We see no going on. Ulrich, I'm waiting to hear what you're gonna say about that blows you get in that down at the eastern end there, that famous room where we played dominoes with a certain senior man. And so we played well into the mornings, and we love to play then because the fact that the senior man was there, we got cutters and we got a little drinks and so on. So it was not fun. Ulrich said yes. Thank Ulrich. Ulrich said yes. You remember, enough blows. And I'm the man who vouched for him, God said, no, they don't want this man. This man, they look like he know what he about. I said, no, this is a good man. Let the man play. And the man sat there, licks like peas, the man get. But he redeemed himself subsequently. He redeemed himself. So, folks, I want to end this morning by saying to you, as I would normally say, be safe, protect yourself at all times. COVID is still real every day. You see new cases. And then now we have monkeypox. I see recently in the report a second case of monkeypox in Guyana. And again, they're saying that the second person has no record of traveling abroad. So they're implying that the thing they're circulating. So you have to be extremely, extremely careful. Now I want to challenge you this morning. I should have done it last week. I want all of you to go to the YouTube page, Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence, and subscribe to the page. Go there and subscribe. And I will know if you subscribe, so you're able to block me. Go to the page, subscribe, and in that way, you're going to make this program even more popular. It is growing in popularity, but we want to get the information out there. We want to get the information out there. So, a lot of people are not on Facebook, but if you go on YouTube and subscribe, the program is going to get more popular. So I thank you all for your sentiments. I can see in the comments group, people are saying, well done, great job. And so I thank you for those kind comments. And to say again, God spare life next week. I hope by then the gremlins that Mr. Conway would have encountered today are going to be gotten rid of. And my co-host will be able to join. But again, I say whether this program has to go on, This program has to go on. So if I am not here, CC is going to carry on. If CC is not here, I'm going to carry on. And when the good Lord smiles on us, both of us will be here to tell you what is going on. So let's understand. So please go to the YouTube page, subscribe, and you can't block me there, because once you subscribe, YouTube is going to send me a notice to say that this person has subscribed. So next week when I come, if you have subscribed, I might have to call you out. I might have to find you. So next week, you might not only find for late coming and absence, you might find you for failing to subscribe. Yes, Godfrey, we're beating and we are teaching. We are beating and we are teaching, and we will continue to do so. So, God's Fair Life, next week at 11 o'clock, join me once again for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. For now, have a good day and bye.